What's going on YouTube? It's Jordan here with J-Dubs Aquatics, doing a long overdue update on my 37-gallon saltwater reef system. There's been a whole lot of changes. I've had some bad experiences, some good experiences, but some of the biggest changes I've made, I had issues with nitrates as my tank was way overstocked. You know, one of the dumb mistakes I made was starting this tank. I had 16 fish in a 37-gallon, including a tang, and I've gotten rid of the tang. I've gotten rid of the coral beauty. You know, I'm down to 9 fish now, and they're all small fish. I don't have any more nutrient problems. I did have a nitrate spike, which led to a few polyps bailing out on my purple candy canes, as well as the death of a few other corals. And as a result of that, my what I thought was hair algae is actually Bryopsis algae. I had a really nasty outbreak after the death of all that coral. And anyway, nutrients are under control. Nutrients have been under control for quite some time now. My Bryopsis problem, I've now got that in the process of being under control. The tank looked way worse than this about 3 days ago. Before I started, I added my little team of 6 of these Mexican turbo snails, and they're doing work on that algae. They do eat the crap, but anyway, I lost a bunch of coral. My beautiful green favia that was right here died. My red chalice that was up there died. My acans that were all here died. When my nitrates spiked, I had several mushrooms down here that just let go, and some of them are attached behind the rockwork now and still doing okay, but just kind of out of sight. I lost basically all of my LPS except for the purple torch, the purple candy canes, and this Duncan frag over here, and this little torch frag down here on the other side. That's all the LPS I have left, and if you remember my tank, I had probably 20 LPS corals or so in here. So it was a pretty devastating loss for me, but it was also a really good learning experience. I made a mistake of adding 1 coral to the system without a dip, and that coral infected my LPS with brown jelly, brown slime, whatever you want to call it. Basically melts LPS and some SPS coral away. But anyway, I seem to have got that under control. My torch, my candy canes, my Duncan, those have all been fine now for a few weeks at least. So I think I've got the brown jelly out of the tank, and it's not going to affect any more of my LPS. Still not going to be adding any LPS or anything like that for a long time, as I want to make sure that that problem is completely eradicated, not going to come back. I've added a couple more zoa colonies. I've got that pink colony up there. I've got the little blue colony up there. I don't know the names of them, unfortunately. But the Duncan down here is fairly new. I've got a zoas that got knocked over. I gotta fix and re-glue somewhere. The leather over here, it's a nice big leather. I got this for dirt cheap. And along with the rose bubble tip anemones, they've been doing great in here. I actually got 4 of them, and one of them went rogue, and I found it over here on my torch, and there was definitely a few stings exchanged, but it moved its way down, back down off the torch's skeleton, and I found it in a spot where it was barely attached to the rock at all one day when I walked in the door. So I managed to get him off of that rock completely with a credit card, very carefully, and I acclimated him to the 10-gallon frag tank, and just 2 days ago that nem has split. So now I have 2 nems in the frag tank and 3 in here. So otherwise, I don't think I've added anything else. Like I said, I sold a bunch of fish. The only one that died was one of my blue-green chromies. I regret this decision, but I decided to break up the school of 6 and sell 3 of them to a buddy, and I think it was a stress-related illness from splitting up the school. But I found one of them dead a week or two after I had split them up. So anyway, there's that. I sold the Scooter Blenny, I sold the Coral Beauty, the Tang, my Fairy Wrasse, which was in this tank. I moved into the 10-gallon frag tank. Let's see, what else was there? Well, I'm trying to think, but you know, I can't remember what else I got rid of. But anyway, I'm down to 9 fish now. So I've got my 2 clowns, I got my purple firefish, my 2 green chromies. I've got the green mandarin still. He's doing really well, eating just about anything I feed him. Got the 6-line wrasse and the yellow watchman goby. And then, you know, I've still got my banded coral shrimp. You can see one of his antennas sticking up back there. All my inverts and stuff are doing fine. Like I said, I added the team of Mexican turbos. And this algae problem, I seriously have been fighting this for months, and someone with more experience probably could have beat it sooner. But when somebody suggested that a couple of snails could do the job, when I've been putting all these hundreds of dollars and time into this, you know, this battle of this crappy, nasty green algae, it's amazing to me that a couple of snails take care of it, and then I was spending all that money and you know, doing all these treatments. So really happy to say that everything's balancing out now. Levels have been very stable. I haven't had nitrates in quite a while in here. Another big change I've made to the tank is filtration. I did away with the canister filter. I weaned the system off of the canister, and it, you know, all that biological media and crap in there was just a place to facilitate the nitrogen cycle and basically produce nitrates, which is what you don't want in salt water. So I also upped my protein skimmer to, I got a new eShops PSK 100. That thing skims like a beast. I changed my hang on back filter to an Aqua Clear 70, and this was a DIY refugium for a month or so, and it was just getting too dirty and it became too much maintenance. So I decided it was too much trouble for what it does, and my nitrates are under control anyhow. So the macroalgae that I have, I just built this little box and growing macroalgae in here with this little LED light. And it is growing, so I'm not sure for the volume of this tank that it's doing a whole lot for me, but it is growing. It's consuming a little bit of nutrients, so that's that. I don't think I had these in my last video. I was still running the Hydor Corellia nano pumps. I got the JBO or JBO, however you want to say it, RW4s. I got 2 of these, and they sync wirelessly. Controllers down here for them. But they got a lot of cool functions and settings. I'll do another video separately on that sometime. But this bucket under here now, this is for my auto top off, which is also fairly new to the system. Actually, not so new anymore, but I haven't done a video in so long in this tank that you guys don't know about it yet. But anyway, I got the Toonsy auto top off. The pump is in that bucket, and it's got an optical eye and a float switch, so there's a backup in case the optical eye fails. The optical eye tells it when it needs water, turns the pump on, and when the water level reaches the spot on the optical eye, it turns off. And if that fails, there is a float switch, so my tank can't. Sorry I got cut off there, ran out of storage and had to delete a few things. But anyway, my filtration has been very simplified. I went from having a crappy skimmer to having a very good skimmer that is now the heart of my filtration. I've got my Phosban reactor with GFO and carbon, and I've got my Aqua Clear 70 with a couple pieces of live rock rubble and just mechanical filtration otherwise. Basically that's stuffed full of this cheap polyfill. And this is kind of a secret weapon. This stuff really polishes the water nicely. Excellent water clarity. But yeah, other than that, I think that's about it. This update's probably gone on long enough for those of you that are even still watching. But there will be more to come. Thanks for checking it out. Happy fish keeping.